Hello, thank you for joining with me. We are with Ken Wapnick, PhD, in his journey through the text of A Course in Miracles. And today we are on Chapter 5, Healing and Wholeness. We are picking up our reading in the ego's fear of the atonement principle. So we're picking up, this is Chapter 5, 3, 8, 6 through 8. This vision frightens the ego because it is so calm. Peace is the ego's greatest enemy because, according to its interpretation of reality, war is the guarantee of its survival. The ego becomes strong in strife. This is Ken. This explains our loving to fight each other, whether we do it on a battleground or in a sports arena. We love a battle because it makes our ego strong. Recall that the ego began with the collective thought that we were at war with God. And this madness continues throughout our individual lives. The vision of the atonement, the undivided oneness with the sonship and our source, strikes terror in the ego, which is why it seeks to protect itself by convincing us that salvation lies in ongoing conflict and war. 3:10:4. Despite ego's attempts to conceal this part, the Holy Spirit's vision, it is still much stronger than the ego, although the ego does not recognize it. We understand that the ego does not know about the Holy Spirit, but it fears a power stronger than itself that can choose against it. Even though the above passage suggests that the right mind is this power, in reality the mind's decision maker is the true source of strength, for only it can choose the right mind that ends the ego's reign. And when we do make the correct choice, our identification with the Holy Spirit's voice of atonement becomes the ego's greatest fear, which it seeks to avoid at all cost. In the presence of those who hear the Holy Spirit's call to be as one, the ego fades away and is undone. Jesus, our greatest symbol of the atonement, is not the ego's friend, for he exposes its most fundamental lie. It exists on its own, without the decision maker's belief in it. When our minds choose finally to listen to the voice that speaks for truth, the ego cannot but fade into its own nothingness. 4:2:1 through 3:7. What the ego makes, it keeps to itself, and so it is without strength. Its existence is unshared. It does not die. It was merely never born. I have come to give you the foundation so your own thoughts can make you really free. The ego makes illusions, and since ideas leave not their source, they never leave the insane mind that convinced them in its weakness. They share nothing because they are nothing. Despite this fact of salvation, they have the power to hold us in the prison of separation as long as the mind gives them that power. Within that same mind, however, are the thoughts that free us. These are the healing thoughts of the atonement that remind us. 4:3:4. The ego can keep you in exile from the kingdom, but in the kingdom itself it has no power. We can see the frequency with which this idea recurs, revealing how strongly the composer of this symphony feels about it. Indeed, the themes of atonement and the ego's fear of it return over and over, and it is important to appreciate their significance. Our very lives rest upon them. To protect this fear is why we are born, and why we fight to death to maintain our individuality, whether it is to maintain the supremacy of a religious, political, national, or racial group, or our bodily identity. We are terrified of non-specificity and the abstract nature of God's love. And this fear is why, as dedicated and devoted as we may be to this course, we still have trouble living it. We are not evil or sinful, merely frightened of the love our right minds yearn to return to. This is the reason the ego has us believe it has power, a power we have to flee by making a world and living there as mindless bodies. And I am going to go ahead and stop there today. I thank you so much for joining me. We will pick up tomorrow. Have a beautiful day. I love you. Thank you.